Hey students, back at it. So I thought we'd jump off the ADU and do something that's really common here in Santa Barbara, a landscape blueprint. Everybody's got a yard, everybody's got an estate, and it's just a safety thing, an ambiance thing, and you'll come across it a lot here, even at large buildings like Cottage Hospital, or I did a Greek Orthodox church. They all want exterior lighting for safety reasons, liability, and ambiance. It just really changes everything, and it's pretty simple stuff. And this is a good, simple plan of a house, and it's patios they're adding. They have all the symbols. They have where the transformer and the timer. I'll show you how there's a mistake on these plans. Again, this is why it's really important to go over these plans prior to the job site, prior to meeting with the owners. These are all concrete walkways. So as you can see, the lights jump back and forth. How are you going to run wires through concrete? You'll need to be ahead of the game. Like I always say, be 5 steps ahead of everybody in everything you do with your questions, so that you have the landscaper put in sleeves. I do 2-inch sleeves, just they can use water pipe, whatever, but just enough so it's super easy. When they put it under that slab, you run a 12-volt wire through it and you can crisscross it. You cannot put enough of those in. You can say, hey, put one in every 10 feet. Those pieces of pipe are inexpensive, less than $10 for 20 feet. Chop up a bunch of, I think this was a 3-foot path. I chopped up a bunch of 4-foot pieces, said lay them every 10 feet. I want to be able to crisscross, because inevitably the owner will add lights. I mean, look at this whole entire area on the side of their house has no lights. So they're just going to walk in the dark in that area? No, they added a bunch of lights here. So this is a landscape setup. These are path lights. These are hanging tree lights. These are step lights in the concrete. Again, you'll want to be ahead of the concrete contractor. Hey, I got step lights going in the face of these steps. I'm going to give you the sleeves. I'm going to put them in. Do not let him put them in. They will be crooked or full of concrete. So again, ahead of the game. These are some more tree lights, a little bit different. Same thing. This was the driveway. I wrote here, sleeve. Put a sleeve. I got to get across the driveway from all the way up here. So these were more stair lights, but these are in a concrete wall. So again, I had to measure, get the sleeves in there, put them in myself, tape both ends, no concrete filling them. These were tree lights. These were underwater lights in a fountain. Again, how are you going to get a wire in a fountain? It's water sealed. You need a sleeve. Ahead of the game. This was a big retaining wall. We took the sleeve out of here, out of one of the drains, and then went in the side of the fountain. This was a trellis, and I'll talk a little bit about more of how you can upsell stuff with that. But these are the lines that the landscaper drew. He kind of put all the tree lights together, which I agree with, and then he kind of left everything else. There's a solid line on these, but the way I do this is instead of going, say, front of the house on one side of a transformer, the other side on another, because then if this one trips for whatever reason, a gardener hits the line that's exposed, somebody, whatever, something happens, then this is all dark. So what I do is I'll do, say, the step lights and the tree lights together, so that if the path lights go out, you can still safely get back to your house, or guests or whatever can see it. So I split it like that. I don't necessarily go front of the house, back of the house, or left and right. I try to do 50-50 throughout the property. And then that way you just can go find the transformer or the timer. So let's look at where's the legend on this. Okay, so this company, this architect, does an excellent job of telling you. That's a little better. Sorry. Videography skills. He's got the brand, the voltage, the symbol. He's got a description. He's got a model number. He's got what type. He's got the wattage. He's got the quantity. He's got the total. And then he's got the transformers. Also, with each of these, the downlight, you have a picture. So the customer, there's no surprises in this, none whatsoever. Everything's been approved, everything's been based. So when you write your estimate or you're reading your plans, you say, based on the plans dated 6/13, this is the price or this is the cost. However, I did find out by calling ahead that this is a 2-piece order item. He has it as a single piece. It's 2 pieces. The canopy's 1 piece. The top is another piece. You can get an 18-inch riser, 12-inch riser, 24-inch riser. So I had to go back to them and say, hey, what size risers do you want? This is now a 2-piece item. So again, this might have been done in January or June, and could have sat around for a year. Things have changed completely. So I had to go back to them, say, just so you know, these are changed. The other mistake was this gentleman called this a TI, electronic transformer. TI is not transformer. TI is timer. So they wanted these on a timer, which makes sense. However, they first had it on a switch, and I said, that's going to drive you bananas because you'll have to turn it on before you go out to dinner, and then you come back, your house is dark, or you're never going to do that. So I would eliminate this single switch timer and this transformer with no timer and put 3 switches in, and we'll zone it in 3 different ways. Upper patio, 50%, 50%. That way we can set different times for all these, and you can override it anytime you want from inside your house. So that's a little upsell. They also, in the trellis, it was a super easy upsell. I said, don't you want a couple heaters up here? It's cold in Santa Barbara to some people. They said, absolutely, that'd be great. So here was the main panel. I put a sub panel in over here, ran 90 feet of wire across, wired up 220 heaters. That was like an extra $8,000. Boom. Easy way to upsell things. And these landscape plans are very simple. It's all high voltage in this area, and out of these transformers, it's low voltage. It's two wires, number 12, positive and negative, direct voltage. Here's your scale down here, so you have a pretty decent idea of what lengths you need and what rolls you need. You have your quantities based over here. And then you can add up these quantities, like I said on the last video of how you do Watt's law. So like these were wrong, for example, they were 10 watts each. So now we're at 20, 40, 60, plus 15, 75. So I think it went to 74. He had this as an 80-watt transformer. That's too close for me. Like I said, I deleted that. I put a 300-watt in, and then I put that on 3 switches. So again, this is a plan, but the plans always change. So you have to be ahead of the game with the plans. But landscape lighting is very common in this area, and this is an excellent set of plans. And if it doesn't have these pictures, I would ask for RFI, request for information, to the landscape architect or to the engineer and say, I'd like a picture of each one of those models so that I can put them on my proposal to you. So we'll go over this one, and then I have a little more complex one. And we'll take questions on Thursday, I think, on Zoom. All right. Shoot,